Today on DNVR Buffs Live, the number one key to victory against Arizona. And congratulations to the haters. You got something new. Let's dive in. Let's go.
Welcome into the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Last show here in the Toyota Lounge for less than a week, 6 days.
Yes, sir.
How you feeling?
I can't wait, man.
Yeah,
Just ready to see another game. Easily the worst part about being a football obsessed freak,
I know,
is you have to wait a week between games.
But La Tech and New Mexico State last night.
Bro, that was electric. I mean, quick ad for Bet365. Like, just having action on that game made it so exciting for me.
What'd you have?
I had the over. So it ended up hitting because of overtime.
Yep.
Anyways, I'm so ready for another game.
Well, let's get into it. Let's break down Arizona. Number one key to victory, offense, defense, all that. What side of the ball are we starting on?
Let me first start by saying this is notably the first time we've talked about Arizona all year.
Yep.
We just usually talk about other teams when we're playing them and not really any other time.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing.
Yeah, it's we're just trying to set the standard, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I did watch Arizona. I've seen a couple of their games live, and then I watched the BYU game and a little bit of the Kansas State game, since that's a common opponent.
Yep.
Let me pull up my notes. I almost forgot that I actually did work. My first takeaway, Noah Fifita.
What about him?
He is forcing the football.
Yes, he is. I wrote that down too.
He is forcing the football a lot.
Yep.
And so if you are a defensive back for Colorado, you should be excited, because I was talking to Saul Bookman, who's the former GM at PHNX. Now he works on the ALLCITY side today, but he went to Arizona, and he was saying like both offensive lines are struggling. Shedeur is taking sacks. Fifita is just throwing it up.
Yeah.
So for everyone who wants to gripe about Shedeur holding on to the ball too long, which I'm not arguing with. He does sometimes hold on to the ball too long. It is certainly better. I'll take a 16-yard sack over an interception any day. Neither of them are ideal, to be clear, but that's the biggest difference right now, I think, is if you're going to take that pressure, best thing to do would be throw it away.
Mm-hmm.
But rather take the sack than what Fifita's been doing, which is kind of just like getting off his back foot, running backwards, being like, F it. Tedero McMillan's down there somewhere,
yep,
and just throwing it up.
Yep. I noticed that too, man. He's going to try and hit tight window throws, whether he's pressured or not, whether it's between coverage or not. He's going to, try and just get the ball downfield. And we talked about this in the offseason, I feel like Shedeur does take sacks, but he's not putting the ball in harm's way a lot. There's a difference there, obviously, and you're seeing it right here. Through 6 games, Noah Fifita's thrown more interceptions than touchdowns.
Yeah, which is crazy, because I think that Noah Fifita is a really talented player. He has a big arm.
Mm-hmm.
He can run. Honestly, to me, I get I don't know how to say this without it sounding mean. Well, just a poor man's Kyler Murray to me.
I could see that.
Obviously, Kyler was producing at the college level at a much higher rate, but in terms of the skill set, it kind of looks similar to me.
Yeah, he's a gunslinger. He's going to run. He's more mobile than people are going to give him credit for, but he's not a burner.
Yes, and Kyler, to be fair, was really fast.
Burner, yeah,
but just I don't know when I feel like I get similar vibes when I watch them play. But yeah, so he's a really talented player who last year was making all the right reads, putting the ball in the right place. Not a lot of times did it look like he was putting the ball in harm's way. You lose Jed Fish, who, I know that Arizona fans don't want to acknowledge what a good job he did, but they were irrelevant before he got there, and they're now struggling without him. Mm-hmm. The guy probably deserves some credit.
Well, go ahead.
And so, to me, that's the biggest difference between this year and last year on their offensive side of the football is, one, Jed Fish is not there making it really easy on the quarterback. By the way, Jed Fish came from, essentially like the Shanahan tree. Mm-hmm. And what do they do really well is make life easy on a quarterback. That's why you have Brock Purdy, getting into the MVP conversation last year. No insult on his ability, but that's Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
And the other big thing is, man, do they miss Jacob Cowing. Like, desperately.
He had as many receptions as T-Mac did last year.
Yep.
They don't have a legit second option. They still have Montana Lamonius Craig. He's made some plays for them over the last 2 seasons, but Jacob Cowing was a really good football player. He was one of the best receivers in the Pac-12 the last 2 years. So now it is kind of that one-man show. They also lost their third leading receiver from last year. That was Tanner McLaughlin. He played tight end. So this year, it really is T-Mac and Noah Fafita. They've got a decent running game. They'll run it around in different ways. They like to play big personnel when it gets to short down and distances. They'll bring in an extra running back or two. They'll bring in an extra tight end. In terms of rushing, they have been efficient so far. Quali Conley has 458 yards, averages 5.6 yards per carry. Rascano averages 6.1 yards per carry. And Krosky Merritt averages 8.2 yards per carry. So they do have some success running the football.
Yeah, that was my second note, actually. More effective than you would think running the ball. Mm-hmm. And I think that they've done a really good job of using the pass to set up the run.
Yeah.
I would love for Colorado to be able to do the same thing. But it almost to me feels like they're going through a similar. I haven't heard the conversations that are going around their program right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're going through a similar conversation this week, which is like, we should be running it more.
Right.
They did a good job, I thought, running the ball against BYU. Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those things where it's natural for them to get away from it.
Yeah, they play a lot out of 11 personnel, heavy 11 personnel, I would say. They do use a lot of multiple formations. They'll spread you out. They'll play tight. As I said, they'll bring in some different personnel sets, especially in short yardage. They love pre-snap motion, too. Yep. They use it in a variety of ways. They'll have some jet sweep. They'll send the running back out, or they'll just, shift one guy from the other side to the other. And in the passing game, crossing routes 4 days, all 3 levels of the field, short, intermediate, and long. T-Mac will run the deep cross. They run these shallow crossers all the time on almost every concept. And they just love in-breaking routes. That's where they make their money. That's where Fafita gets on his game the best, I think, timing-wise, getting guys out of their breaks and stuff. So we talked about that a lot last year. Get ready for it again.
I want to say it was the Bengals who did this, but that crossing route, when it was Mahomes and Hill, that was just like all day for them. It's basically like he ran 9 routes and deep crossers. And obviously he's, a good route runner in the short stuff too. Mm-hmm. But I think it was the Bengals who essentially had the safety on the opposite side of the field from Tyreek.
Waiting for it.
Just rob that route essentially. And if it's not coming, you can move your eyes off something. But your first look is across the field for them, it would be Tyreek Hill. For this, it would be Tedder McMillan.
Yep.
Just looking, is it coming? And if it's here, I'm going to sit on it. And I want to say it was them. It might have been the Ravens. But they got a big interception off of it, just kind of sitting and waiting. Maybe you don't do it the whole game, but especially when you see those formations that lend to it, I wouldn't hate setting up that, just because a lot of times when I'm watching Arizona, I see Shedeur and McMillan get a big catch in open space
Yeah.
in an important part of the game, and I'm like, how did that happen?
Yep.
Like, how is there not someone right around number 4 at all times?
I know. Well, if it was the Bengals, we've got a great guy as defensive coordinator. Could probably steal some of that and put it into play. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, offensively, this is a team that if you allow them to be explosive, if you don't cover T-Mac, they are going to put up a ton of passing yards and points on you. But really, I think if Travis is able to shut him down, make some plays on the football, and they're able to force Fafita into some errant throws, Colorado's going to get a lot of extra possessions. With that, with Fafita, again, going back to the mobility, contain's going to be big again this week. Not as crucial as it was last week, I'd say, but he loves to roll out and just buy a few extra seconds just to launch a ball downfield. So that's going to be crucial. Edges are going to be patient. You can't just come around screaming off the edge, crashing, thinking this guy's just going to stand there. Because he will, kind of do what Shedeur does, kind of flip back out or roll out play aside just to try to extend plays.
And for that, it's the old, you got to cover the first route and the second route.
Yeah.
A huge challenge for the DBs to just stay with it the whole way, especially whoever is on Shedeur and McMillan. Obviously, we expect a lot of Travis Hunter on him.
Yeah.
But whoever's there is you got to follow him and run with him, and it's going to be one hell of a workout just running around all day trying to stick with him.
For sure. Do we want to go to defense right now then? Start it?
Well, let me ask you this.
Okay.
How many times do they test Travis?
5+.
Okay, I was going to say over under 5.
No, they're going to throw at him.
And then
he's going to be on McMillan.
The other thing that is absolutely crazy to me is I heard people talking about Travis. The Buffs were hiding Travis from Shedeur last year, and that's why there was only he only had whatever it was 2 catches for 9 yards and a touchdown. It's literally the opposite of what was happening. And credit to Jed Fish, they're moving Shedeur based off of the way that Colorado was playing defense to try and get him away from Travis Hunter, which is exactly what you should be doing if you're playing against a shutdown corner.
Right.
Just had to say that.
No, you're right.
And by the way, one more thing on that. I said this on the thing I recorded with Saul earlier. People use the picture of Shedur's catch as some sort of dunk on Travis Hunter.
Great catch.
To me, that's how you beat him. Perfect throw, amazing catch.
Yeah.
Tip. All you do is you just tip the cap. That's not like he got mossed.
Well, it's in the game that is not to be mentioned. That's the picture from that game.
Well, and there was that crazy one where he caught it on Travis's back.
That's what I was talking about. Yeah.
But I'm talking about this one, which is back shoulder, one-handed, going away from tip the cap. Good job.
He's a really good player, man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's going to be a top 10 draft pick.
He had 300 yards receiving in a game this year.
Yeah, no, he's legit. So containing him, I think, is key for this offense. I mean, they are going to try and run the ball, so CU's going to have to tackle better. They're going to have to be more disciplined. Shiloh and the safeties are going to have to be better in run defense. That's just what has to happen, not only for this week, but moving forward. But this team, as we talked about, they will run the ball, and they will have more success than you would think coming in.
Yeah. All right, flip it.
Let's flip it. But first, let's take a break. And shout out our friends over at Coors Light. Do you want to talk about Coors Light?
I'd love to talk about Coors Light.
Go for it.
Funny thing about these road trips, it shouldn't feel like this, but does they not feel like Friday to you?
My days have been messed up for 3 weeks, bro.
Does it feel like Friday or not?
Yes.
Yeah. Beautiful day outside. And so it kind of feels like Friday since we're hitting the bus tomorrow, which is the unofficial beginning of the weekend. But any day, it's a great day for a Coors Light. Ice cold, crisp, refreshing. Everything that you want when you're looking to chill, they have it at Coors Light. So go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. And when you go to CoorsLight.com/DNVR, you can get Coors Light ice cold delivered straight to your door with Instacart.
Hell yeah. Shout out Coors Light. And then shout out Bet365, the homies. You had a little bit of action that made a Tuesday night college football game electric.
Yes.
And
how does Tuesday night college football work?
I don't know.
What day do they play next week?
They obviously won't play on Saturday, but like
I was really trying to figure that out last night. I'm like, well, they definitely didn't play last Saturday, right?
Did you check the schedules to see if they did or not?
No, but there's no way they went Saturday to Tuesday.
No, I would hope not.
I would hope not to. I'll look at it while you talk about Bet365.
Anyway, shut up at 365, especially their early money line payouts. For football, if your team, you bet on a team in the money line and they get up by 17 points or more, that is an early money line cash out. Even if the other team comes back and wins. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up and deposit $10 to get in on the bet and get offer. All you have to do at that point, place a bet of $5 or more on anything. As soon as that bet clears, hits or misses, you'll get $200 in bonus bets deposited directly into your account. You must be 21 or older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER.
What a crazy schedule.
What is it?
Okay, so they played last Thursday.
Okay.
Then they played this Tuesday. This is Louisiana Tech, by the way.
Okay.
Then they play next Tuesday. Then they play the Tuesday after that, which is October 29th. And then they go back to a Saturday, which is November 9th. So they go Thursday, Tuesday, 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 Saturday.
That's not terrible.
It's not. It's great for us. I'm going to know everything there is to know about Louisiana Tech football
That's going to be
by
your
that
team,
last Tuesday.
I love it. Defensively, the Arizona Wildcats. What stood out to you on the tape?
Not a great pass rush.
They have 11 sacks on the season. They have 3 players who have 2 sacks. That's it.
Yep. And without some of their playmakers, which they didn't have in the BYU game, they lose Jacob Manu in the first quarter, which was really brutal for them. But without him, and then no Gunnar Maldonado either, that was rough.
And they have 2 players in the secondary that are questionable, including their standout cornerback, Tacario Davis.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this team the defense is pretty beat up.
Absolutely. It's beat up, and I wouldn't say there's anything that they do especially well.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, someone said that's not how they say Coors Light in the South. It's actually, that's not what that comes from. That comes from the way I hear it in Colorado. Like when I went to the golf tournament up in Hudson, Colorado.
Yeah.
And then I went to the local, what's it called? American Legion.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they order it there.
I'm going to say, I honestly don't think I've heard it that much before you started saying it.
Well, you're in Denver, bro.
I'm just
Gotta
saying.
go to the outskirts. Go to like Grand Junction. You'll hear him say it there.
Driven through there many times.
Yeah.
Okay. This is I think it's a base 335, it may be base 425. Either way, the edges are hand in the dirt or standing up a lot. They kind of have a lot of people walking around the box in different areas. They really are. They change their alignment quite often. They're not just married to like. I'm sure they have a base, but it's not like we're just going to run this 70% of the game type of thing. You know what I mean? So they will kind of mix it up, especially in the box. They will crowd the box, as I said, and they blitz. Because, like we talked about, they don't really have an edge rusher who's able to really generate pressure on their own, so they're going to blitz. They played a lot of zone against BYU, a lot. But then they tried to man up against Kansas State.
That makes sense. Just from like a weapons perspective, at least wide receiver wise. I got to say, to me, this is you learned your lesson last week. Because I feel like we were saying a lot of the same things about Kansas State. And guess what? Shedeur was able to almost throw for 400 yards.
Yeah.
But you did him dirty. And I don't know who is responsible for all this. But Shedeur was not put in the best position to succeed based on the play calling. Mm-hmm. Even though we knew you could throw on them, and we were right, that doesn't mean only throw it.
Right.
And so this week I feel the exact same way. And what happened last week was you allowed Kansas State to have a pass rush by giving them the luxury of knowing what you were doing all game long.
Yep.
Take that away from Arizona, and Shedeur will have time to play, time to pass. And I feel really confident that they're going to put a legitimate effort into running the ball this week. But you got it, because you can't. Honestly, it's kind of 3 in a row. UCF was the same way. They didn't really have a pass rush.
Yeah.
You ran the ball successfully, and Shedeur's life was easy all day long. Kansas State didn't have a pass rush. You didn't even try to run the ball. They were able to get there 5 times, right?
6, I believe.
6 times. This is your third chance here. Learn from the last 2. You stick with the run, and what you're going to have is like Shedeur hitting long, deep crossers, 9 routes, whatever he wants. Because they're not going to be able to commit to the pass like Kansas State was able to.
They are fairly average run defense. They are 70th in the country in terms of yards allowed per game at 144.3. They allow 4.4 yards per carry. But yeah, this is even if this secondary was healthy from what I watched on tape, this is someone that Colorado's wide receivers should also be able to take advantage over. They just have a talent gap, I think, over the Wildcats.
Yeah.
So
what they do against everyone.
Of course they do. But again, like Tacario Davis is nice. He's a good football player.
He is.
But outside of that, I'm very confident that maybe we could go 6 deep and have success with them at wide receiver.
Yeah.
So, the injuries in the secondary are going to loom large.
What do you think they'll do with Travis?
I think they'll try and if he plays, they'll put Tacario Davis on him. Try to, at least.
So then they're manning?
No, they're playing zone against Colorado for sure.
Okay, so they're just going to try to...
They might bracket,
build a shell around him and keep him in front of him. I think that's probably what they do well.
Yeah. So, running the ball is going to be crucial, obviously. Sounds like Isaiah Augustov is going to be the lead back this week, but we'll find out for sure on Saturday, of course. I hope we need Micah. We need Micah in this one. You need that. He's not even a change of pace because he runs similar to Isaiah, but you need those 2 bowling balls to just keep throwing against that defensive line and just hoping you break one, because really all it takes is maybe 1 or 2 big runs. And like you said, it makes it so much easier on Shedeur and the entire offense.
It truly does. I've been asking this for 2 years now. I don't think I've asked for it yet. Maybe I did ask for it once this year. I'm asking for it again. First play of the game, line up under center. Maybe even put a fullback in there. Give me block bully at fullback. First play of the game. Turn around, hand that ball off, and let's cook.
Oh, I'd love it.
I need it.
We got to have
And that just sends a whole message to them.
Last year we had the Rick Ross package. They got to bring it back in some form or fashion. Why not?
I don't know.
We can't run the ball. Out of base, 11 personnel, even 10 personnel, just lining up, 2x2 formation. They can't run the ball. So do something that allows you to run the football.
Yep. What did you think of the Pat Shurmur video?
Yeah, we need more of that. We need not just Pat Shurmur. We need everyone in the team saying that.
I like it. I
need Jordan Seaton up there saying. I need all these people up there saying it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I liked it. I would love for that to be like a conversation in fall camp. But
yeah,
let's get back to it. I mean, Colorado is 3-0 to me in games where they ran the ball effectively.
Yeah, I used to have those stats. I don't know where they are now, but yeah.
Actually, I don't even. Did they run it effectively against Baylor? I actually don't think they did. That's why
I can't remember.
Got sacked 8 times or whatever it was.
Well, remember, a lot of those sacks came on the last drive, too.
It's true. So maybe it's 2-0 when they run the ball.
I'm looking up how much what they did against Baylor, but in your mind, what is the number 1 key to victory this weekend?
To me, honestly, it is running the ball. I'm trying to find a word that's less intense than effectively. And effectively is not an intense word. What I mean by this is just pretend. I don't even care if it's working. Continuing to run the ball to make them guess. Because I look out at this defense and I say, Shedeur should be able to carve. But I thought that last week too, and I learned a lesson, which is that you have to be able to make them guess. And so I'll say if they hand the ball off 23 times or more, they will win.
This has Baylor credit with 9 sacks.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy. The Buffs ran the ball 42 times for 91 yards against Baylor.
42?
That's what it says.
That's counting all the sacks as attempts.
Yeah, it says Shedeur has 19 attempts in that
How
game.
many, what about running back attempts?
Isaiah 12 for 41, Micah 9 for 22, and Dallin was out.
Okay, so 21 in that. And then what about UCF?
UCF. Oh, shoot. I went the wrong way. Hold on. Stand by. Dallin was back for UCF, right?
Yeah,
he
scored
had the touchdown run. So with all 3 lead backs, 29 carries, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns.
So I said something right in between those. One of them is 21. What about Colorado State? Sorry, last one.
See, I went backwards, and then you could have just asked me then.
Sorry.
They ran it 19 times for 109 yards.
Wow, that's crazy. 100 yards, though.
Yep.
Maybe that's the number. It's not about the amount of carries, it's the amount of yards. Anyways.
That is the key, though.
Somewhere between 20 carries, something around 100 yards, to me, will put you in a position that Shedeur pretty much does what he wants.
Mm-hmm. And I'll even go further than the key is running the ball. The key is Michael Welch running the football.
Wow. What's wrong with doing it with Isaiah?
There's nothing wrong with doing it with Isaiah. It's just all we've seen from Micah is him continually break off big runs.
Yeah. Same with Isaiah, though.
True. But I'm just saying we need both. Again, we need both.
Yeah, totally. And by the way, I think Dallin deserves some credit for his catching out of the backfield. Last week was really good. He made a couple really good catches.
Dallin has made plays as a receiver and as a pass protector a lot this year.
Yep. And he had the big run against UCF.
And he did. He just, I don't know if he just had a bad game or what it was, but
yeah,
he just wasn't great last weekend, obviously. We got a couple minutes. Do you want to hit the Heisman thing?
I don't think we have time for that in a minute and 30 seconds.
Okay.
You got any more takes on Arizona?
Not really right now. Just monitor the health of this secondary throughout the rest of this week. Because that's going to be big for them. But I don't know. I've watched quite a bit of this team this year live and today just catching up and stuff. And they're pretty straightforward, I feel like.
Yeah. It's been interesting to see Fafita this year versus last year.
It's the value of a good offensive coach.
Yep. And he's forcing it.
Mm-hmm.
Just doesn't look, I don't know, comfortable and confident.
Yeah. No, he's trying to press. He's trying to make big plays. He's trying to, and for better or worse, he's trying to feed T-Mac is what he's trying to do.
Yep. And we talked about this in the offseason. I don't know how many people listened, but they lost a first round tackle last year.
Yep, Jordan Morgan.
Yep. So that hurt. That's hurting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Although their right tackle is really good.
Yeah, I'm not even trying to say that guy's name. Do you want to try?
I have to see it. I'll check it out.
You wrote about it. You should.
I know,
remember.
but I don't remember how many syllables and things there were.
Syllables, yeah, right. You have no idea how many syllables are on that.
I can't even try to spell it to get it to pull up. Isn't it S-A-L-E?
I'm not going to try. You're not going to bait me into making an attempt here.
Okay, I won't try. Oh, man, I'm striking out here.
Well, let's just hit this break, and then we'll get to it.
Okay. Shout out to Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics is huge. If you're going to have a big night, crack open a Z-Biotics, drink it with some water, get it down, and then you can get down and not have it ruin your day tomorrow. Z-Biotics is awesome. Tastes good. And I'm a fan. So go to zbiotics.com/DNVR Buffs. We'll be loading it up right next to our Coors Light on the bus this weekend.
Absolutely, we will.
So Check it out. Zbiotics.com/DNVR Buffs. You'll get 15% off your first order of Zbiotics. That is Zbiotics.com/DNVR Buffs to get 15% off your first order.
And shout out to new friends, Constant Contact. You were once a small business, or I guess you technically still are.
Yes.
But how much did you have to do in terms of like reaching out to find advertisers, to find customers, to find someone to run your email blast, someone to run your social medias, all that stuff?
I mean, all of it is a full-time job in itself, just trying to find the right people or doing it yourself or any of that. You need a lot more help than you originally think when you're starting a business. And so, yeah, it's a lot of work.
That's where Constant Contact comes in. They'll help you meet your year-end goals and help you get there faster, sell more, raise more, and build more genuine relationships with your audience with Constant Contact's suite of digital marketing tools, all made to fast-track your success. Time to put the go in your 2024 business goals with email, social, SMS, and customized marketing campaigns built for you in just a few clicks. Ready, set, go to ConstantContact.com/AllCity, all caps, all one word, AllCity, and start your free trial today. Go to ConstantContact.com/AllCity for your free trial.
Okay.
Do you want to do practice or the Heisman thing?
Hold on. Jonah Savaianea. Let's see what we got here.
You playing a pronunciation?
Yeah.
Jonah Savaianea.
Oh, you were way off, bro.
I was way off.
Way off.
Savaianea. There you
try.
go. I won't
Good
mess
try.
it up again.
All right, let's go to practice. We had Colton Hood, Drelon Miller, and Coach Jason Phillips on the podium today. We'll start with Colton Hood. Obviously made a big play with that interception. I think his first career interception as well.
Yep.
So here's Colton talking about the play that really almost changed the game.
Interception?
Yes.
Well, was that Preston that you tripped up on? What was he kind of saying to you after that?
Yeah, like I was running and I tried to cut back and I saw his foot. I tried to jump over, but he hit me. And I was like, "Dang, P, you done made me fall." I was gonna score and do a little celebration, but you know it was cool. We was all hype and everything, so yeah, he was happy for me.
We'll see that celebration at some point. I'm sure.
Absolutely. You were kind of going back and forth on this. Do you think not scoring there changed, like,
Yes.
hurt their chances of winning?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think that it changes how Kansas State called the game. Because even though it was only 17 seconds that you took off, if you score right there, I think Kansas State most likely goes right back on the field and goes back into what they were doing. Instead of going, we're just going to spread it out and hope we can get a shot here. Now, part of that was CU's defensively playing cover zero, of course. But, and that's how they got the pick. So maybe that doesn't change how CU would have called it if they go and just got a pick. But I do think it would have changed how hasty Kansas State would have been if they had a full 3:40 or whatever it was on the clock.
Unlucky. Although I disagree. But
Okay.
if so, it was just very bad luck.
Yeah. They were just unlucky in that game last week.
That's also very true.
I asked Colton Hood what are the NFL players he models his game after. Here's his response.
NFL players or other players you try to watch and model your game after?
So actually I used to train with Patrick Peterson, so that's like one of my main guys. Of course, Coach Prime, obviously, and probably right now, I would say probably Pastor 10 and JC Horn. Those two guys are really good at what they do, and they shut down the other guy in press man. That's the type of corner I want to be. So
that's cool.
And then he quote tweeted it our post of it and said, "And Rod Hood."
Yep. Forgot to name the guy who trained Pat P in his prime. He's certified. That's what Colton said.
Hell yeah.
Here's Colton from learning from Travis, DJ, and all the other cornerbacks in his room.
Like playing in that quarterback room. You got Travis, you got Preston, you got DJ, a lot of guys seeing a lot of snaps. I mean, are you taking a lot, learning a lot from those guys?
yeah. Like on the sideline, like if I would mess up something in practice or in the game, Travis will always like help me out. Just because he has a lot more experience than I do. So in that effect, the guys we're all like really close and we all help each other get better at our game. So.
Is that something you try and be a sponge around those guys, try and soak up as much as you can?
Yes, sir. Of course. Like I want to take everything that I don't know that they do know. I want to know, and if I know something they don't know, I tell them as well. So we all just make each other better.
We know Pastor is tight with the Hood family, and he was really, banging the drum on Colton Hood, and he's soaking it up from these guys, man.
Yeah.
And paired with Travis and how much of a coach on the field he can be, Colton Hood's going to be a really good player.
Yeah, you know what I thought the first few times I saw Colton in coverage and targeted this year? We got one.
Hell yeah. Yes, we did.
That dude is he can play.
Yeah, he can.
He's a redshirt freshman.
Yep. Yeah,
I feel
this
like
is just the start.
Again, this just happens like naturally when transfers come in. Everyone just kind of assumes they're upperclassmen.
Right.
Bro's a redshirt freshman.
People paid attention to the transfers you bought in the last 2 years. They'd see that there is
Class balance.
Yeah, it's a backbone of a team.
Yeah. And
Dre,
DJ's same way, a young guy.
Yep. I think he's
True
a
sophomore. I think.
Yes, you're right. Drelon Miller was next up. He was talking about, and we heard this a lot about him coming into this year, playing both wide receiver and running back.
To be a running back.
Honestly, coming here, coming to meetings, getting recruited, I want to be used like a Debo Slinker type of player. So wherever I can get the ball, like, I don't care. Just throw me the ball, give me some space to work with.
How much are you enjoying that aspect that you can do both those things?
I'm loving it. I'm most definitely loving it. Just getting the ball, knowing who's out there with me, trusting the guys around me, I'm loving it.
We've seen that from him too. Debo-esque, I would say, in his usage so far.
Absolutely. I can't wait to see him get the ball with a head of steam. I feel like that hasn't really happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a couple handoffs where he got it, like a couple screens. He did catch a crosser last week, but it's right near the sideline.
Yep.
Like, I want to see what he can do in the open field. I mean, he had that nasty juke on Baylor that left the dude grabbing for air.
Yep.
But I think once, you get him the ball maybe on like a drag route or something like that and he can cook a little, it's going to be trouble.
Steal some stuff from the Niners playbook with how they use Debo.
For real.
Honestly.
For real.
Drelon Miller was also asked what the most misunderstood thing is about Shedeur Sanders.
What is the most misunderstood thing about Shedeur?
People doesn't see the hard work he puts in. They try to bash him on social media, but he's nothing like that. He's a great man, great son, a great quarterback. I feel like, honestly, the best quarterback in college football. So they don't see that. They try to bash him from what what the media shows, but besides that, he's a great person.
See the picture of Shedeur out there, like, doing extra conditioning today, too? No one outworks that guy.
Not even close.
No.
And, I mean, that's a common, like, between him and Travis, you got two guys who, like, aren't worried about going out partying, drinking, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they just want to be great.
Yep.
And they will be because of it.
Yep, exactly.
And what an example. We talked yesterday about legacy. Like, if that can be part of their legacy that they leave here,
oh, yeah.
that'll change the game.
Coach Phillips was next up. Obviously, tough for him because 4 wide receivers went down in one game last week. Here he is talking about it.
No, I never had that situation happen to me before, but I tell you what, man, the guys in the room that's why you coach them all, right? You get everybody ready to play. You got a travel squad list of guys, which is 11 for us, so you get all those guys ready to play. And I thought those guys stepped in, the backup stepped in and did a great job. So I'm not bothered by that at all because I think we'll get a couple guys back. I don't know when, but we'll get them back. So I thought those guys, like I said, they stepped in and did the job that we all expected them to do.
So this is how rare last week was. This guy's been playing football, coaching football for a long, long time.
Yep.
And he's never seen that before.
I mean, if you think about, like, the NFL, which was where he's obviously spent some time, like, you wouldn't even have receivers to put out there if you lost 4 in one game.
You'd have to put in, like, 2 tight ends and 2 running backs to finish the game.
That's what I mean. I mean, you maybe have, you probably have 5 on your game day roster, maybe 6.
Yep.
You wouldn't be able to go 4 wide anymore.
Yeah. Or you'd be grabbing corners and going, here, run this route.
Yeah. So the fact that they were able to go 4 wide and still have guys that you've heard of even out there, and it just is a huge testament to the depth. And then I thought, you obviously you can't help but think what would happen if you had your full arsenal on that last drive.
Right. Oh, my God, man.
But at the same time, you go back and look at the drive before that. Not the one after the interception, but the one that got them all the way down the field. And like they're hurting on that drive too. And I think that's the drive Omarion goes out, and they still are able to go and punch it in. So like a huge testament to the depth on this team. Omarion Miller, just becomes like an instant superstar as soon as he gets the snaps for it.
Yep. Last thing from practice today, Coach Phillips gave an update on Cordell Russell.
I also want to ask you about Cordell Russell and kind of his progression. Obviously, he was injured early on, but where is he at this point?
Yeah, he right now just getting his feet under him and just continue to learn what we're doing here and just get comfortable with what's happening. I don't foresee anything changing. So, at this point, but you never know. I mean, we're decimated right now, so we'll just kind of see where we are and just kind of see where his progression is. What I don't want to do is put that kid in a situation to fail. And so I have to be confident that he understands what we're doing and can fit in well.
Cordell Russell missed a lot of time. A lot of time on the practice field, too.
Yeah.
So not really surprised by that, but also love what he said. Don't want to put him in a position to fail. This is a guy just returning from injury and a guy who really hasn't been able to do anything football-related for about 6 weeks or more.
Yeah, it's been a while. By the way, someone found the word that I was looking for earlier when I said running the ball effectively is almost too strong a word. Mm-hmm. Running the ball diligently. That's how they win.
A couple more notes. Where is it? Coach Phillips on Jordan Onovu said, Jordan is another one of those guys in the room. He's very coachable. He was asked about, I don't know if you saw on Shedeur's podcast, He said that he really trusts Jordan yesterday. And so Coach Phillips says he's gained the trust of the quarterback. If Shedeur feels confident and comfortable with him, I feel the same way.
Love that. And why shouldn't you?
Yep. Personnel updates. Jimmy Horn Jr. practiced today. Coach Phillips said he feels really good. I'm excited to have Jimmy back. And he also said Will Shepard practiced today as well. And then I'm sure you guys saw on social media, Cam Michael just had surgery.
And Travis, I don't believe, ever practices on Wednesdays.
No.
So.
Yeah. That is it from practice.
Bummer on Cam.
Yeah.
Just because we were kind of hoping maybe that's like a rabbit out of the hat that you can pull mid to late season. But we talked about this also. Like, if you weren't ready for last week, you start to wonder if it's worth it to use a year of eligibility for 6 games.
Yep. Damn it. I had something else. I'm forgetting now, though. Yeah, we'll do that. No. It's been feisty at practice this week.
Elaborate.
I mean, it's what we saw in camp. Guys going at each other, little scuffles happening. There's some fire on this team right now.
Love to see that. I think everyone constantly wants to know, how are they going to respond? How are they going to respond?
Yep.
They responded to losing Nebraska by going and beating the brakes off of Colorado State.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how they respond to this one. This one was a little more painful, I would say, from a player perspective. I think losing to Nebraska probably more painful from a fan perspective.
Yeah.
But that's great. Everyone going out there and saying, okay, I got to do a little bit more. I got to be a little more prepared. If you play, let's just say you play better than you played last week, you should beat this team in Arizona pretty easily.
I agree.
And I don't think they played well last week.
No. Not even close to their best game last week.
And yet they lost by, 3 points.
And Shedeur was 85% completion and damn near threw 400 yards.
I don't want to have to start a campaign about him being underappreciated, but I feel like it's happening.
It's been happening, bro. It's happening.
Insane.
Shout out to Big Teasy. Big Teasy in the house. It was his birthday, I think, yesterday. So
happy belated.
Appreciate all the love, Big Teasy. I hope you had a great day. Let's hit our final break. Shout out to our friends at Westera, my only friends at Westera. But seriously, they're the homies. They got me set up right here. As soon as I moved to Denver, Colorado, it's not even that long ago. 26 months ago, 27 months ago.
Sounds like you're telling me how old your baby is.
I mean, it's a little over 2 years. But Westera has been in Colorado since 1934. They got 9 locations in Denver. And they are a credit union, not a bank, so you know what that means. They're going to look after you and your money. If you like earning money by doing the things you're already doing with your checking account, visit westeracu.com/smartmoney for more details. Membership eligibility required, insured by NCUA, restrictions and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to Chinook Seedery, best seeds in the game. Definitely going to grab a couple packs before our trip on the road this weekend. The flavors are amazing. Jake's favorite is Parmesan pepper. My favorite is Hatch chili. But all of them are good. And you can get 20% off by using the code BUFFS at ChinookSeedery.com. If you're someone who just likes to munch on seeds, got to try Chinook. They support us. You should support them. Go over and use that code BUFFS for 20% off at ChinookSeedery.com.
The homies. Good time chaser. Yes, Travis is on pace to play on Saturday. Do you want to do the Heisman thing real quick? Then we'll get to questions.
Sure.
So, do you have the quote ready?
I do not.
I'll find it real quick. So, if you guys saw, Travis Hunter went on RG3's podcast. I don't know when it actually happened, but it came out yesterday.
It had to be during the bye week, which I actually thought it was done when he did Shiloh and Shedeur. I didn't realize RG3 came back another time.
Yeah.
But you could tell because he was talking about the 95 carries for 1,000 yards, so that it must have been during the bye week. You got it?
Yep. So Travis Hunter, when talking about the Heisman Trophy and Boise State running back Ashton Genty, says, I mean, y'all see Ashton Genty. It's not like we haven't seen a running back that's good. We haven't seen a player that plays both ways, and I'm going to keep saying that. First off, go Travis Hunter.
Hell yeah.
Talk your talk.
Yeah, exactly. First of all, talk your shit, Trav. And is he wrong?
Hell no, he's not wrong.
Could not agree more. Second of all, this is the first thing that people can latch on to hate Travis Hunter, and boy, are they going to do it.
Oh, of course they are.
They finally got their opportunity to take something that he said and say that, this is my reason to not like him, and they're going to run with it. So just be prepared for that. I don't think Travis has to say anything about anyone else, but I like that. I kind of like that he's campaigning for himself.
You have to.
This is a dream of his.
Yeah.
So I say more power to him if he wants to beat the drum for his own case to win the Heisman Trophy. Obviously, the biggest thing for me has always been his health. He's got to stay out on the field. If he can do that, I think he's going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yep. I agree. I don't want to get too in-depth on the Heisman race right now.
Well, and that's good. I'm glad you brought that up because I am so ready to go to war about the Heisman Trophy.
I am too.
Just not after 6 games.
Yes.
There will be a time when it becomes a daily battle, and I look forward to it.
Yep.
But it's too early. Not to talk about it, but just to make it a full-on campaign. But if Travis Hunter plays out the rest of the season at the way that he played the first 5 games, he's your Heisman Trophy winner.
And honestly, the impact of him missing the game last week should not be lost in the Heisman conversation. Because that changes everything for this team. Again,
good point. You have to keep it. Pretty much has to be only that game though now.
For sure, I agree. He has to keep playing, but that's kind of out of his control too.
No, it's 100% out of his control. But I agree with you. It can actually be a case to help him if he plays every other game this season.
I don't know when the Heisman Trophy ceremony is, but can you imagine if CU meets Kansas State in the Big 12 title game and Travis plays a whole game and CU ends up winning, what that would do for his campaign?
True, yeah. I do believe that conference championship games are considered.
I'm looking it up right now. Okay, we can get to questions. Heisman Trophy ceremony is on... Last year it was December 9th.
I believe
so I feel like that's
Big 12
after.
championship is like December 2nd.
I think so, yeah.
At the same time that when our votes due.
I do not know that.
Yeah. Anyways. Travis keeps playing. Travis plays at the level that he's doing. He dominates both sides of the ball for 6 more games. Wrap it up.
Yep. Rue with the super chat. Is Takario Davis out? He is questionable as of today. We will find out. Eric with the question, do you think people will finally be quiet about Coach Prime leaving based on what Travis told RG3?
Come on.
I don't think he has a reason to lie. I mean, how many times does Coach Prime or anyone have to say it? No one listens.
Bro, Coach Prime could be on the sidelines for week 1 of next season, and people will still be telling you about how he's not going to be on the sidelines next season.
Yep. Alfredi, Jake and RK, the running game needs more counters, sweeps, power, and off tackle until the O-line can open holes. We 100% agree. Variety.
I'd have to go back and chart the plays from last week, but it legitimately felt like there was 2 different runs that were called.
Yep. And then you go to UCF, and we're running power and counter and all this stuff.
How does that go away? I don't understand.
Polymath asks, how many people are allowed to redshirt? It's pretty much unlimited.
It is unlimited. I mean, you'd obviously have to.
But you have to
enough
field
to
the
field
team.
the team.
Yes.
Yeah, but you could redshirt everyone and just not play on Saturdays if you wanted.
Yep. DMJ Music Group says, what's up, guys? Do you think that we will continue to be featured during primetime hours if they continue to win? I'd like to see game day or big noon back on the yard. We will dominate this Saturday. This team is going to be playing in primetime the rest of the year. I'm 100% confident in that.
As for game day, interestingly, there's not really like a marquee home game left based on the way that the schedule is kind of shaking out.
Utah's a big one.
Utah could be a big one.
Yeah.
But they're also now starting Isaac Wilson.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they're able to keep it up.
For sure. SN Services, is Jimmy Horn playing? He's on track.
Practice today.
Yep, practice today. Ivan asks, what's more likely, Travis winning the Heisman or going number 1 overall? Ooh, good question. Going number 1 overall, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say that is more likely. There's going to be no Ashton Genty competing with him for the number 1 overall pick.
Might be his teammate.
That being said, it's going to come down to who gets that pick and what if they need a quarterback.
Yes,
if they need a quarterback, they should draft Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah, so pulling up Tankathon, I mean, they got the Pats at the 1st overall pick right now. They obviously just drafted Drake May.
They would pick Travis.
Yes. But like Cleveland's next. They've got a whole situation too, so
yeah.
But Jacksonville's after that.
Might have to be Eli Manning if Cleveland's there.
Yeah. Jacksonville's after that. They signed Trevor Lawrence to an extension. Carolina, we know they have issues at quarterback, so maybe. So yeah.
They also have issues at owner.
Yes, they do. But then the Rams are there. And the Titans are there. Jets, like Bengals. Like these are teams all in the conversation right now.
Giants
are in the 2. They're 2-4. Yeah, they're the last 2-4 team. They're somehow picking 12th.
Yep.
Jesse asks, who are the voters for the Heisman Trophy? It's a lot of media, former Heisman Trophy winners. There's literally like 800 of them.
Yeah. It's like divided by region. I think there's like 120 voters per region or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Big says... It's all right.
Sure.
Michael says Coach Prime is confirmed to be leaving, and the source is somebody with boots on the ground at CU, but you guys are scared to report on it. What do we think about that? Yeah, that's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, it just couldn't be further from the truth.
Yes. Be more with the super, or that's shout out to Rue for the super chat earlier. He's got another one too. I live in Tempe. I'm gonna drive down to Dirty Tucson for the game. Gonna hit the tailgate. Bless the weather gods for Saturday. Yes, sir. Can't wait to see you there. We're looking good from the last. I haven't checked today, weather-wise. Have you?
I have not. But last we heard it was a high of 73.
High of 73, clear.
Which is pretty crazy for Tucson in October.
Mm-hmm.
I've literally been at a Halloween party in Tempe where it was 100 degrees while it was pitch black. So we're getting kind of lucky on this one.
Someone said worst question of the year by Jake. What did I ask?
I don't know. Who knows?
Be more with the super chat. Jimmy Horn just posted, I won't switch on my dogs for no amount of money. Are teams offering deals during the season? If so, that's ridiculous. Jimmy's going to the NFL next year either way, so I don't think anyone would tamper with him at this point.
Yeah, it would maybe be like about like media wanting him to say something.
Could just be a song lyric too.
Could also be that. But definitely not about switching teams. You can't go to a new team and play within the season.
Yeah, and after November or after December, even later, hopefully, he's going to be preparing for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Shout out Laura. Shout out to Jake for always asking the best questions at the pressers. Good to see you today. Team BLDR bar.
That has been floated to me before.
Laura's about to put the full court press on you.
All right, let's talk.
But thank you, Laura. Good to see you today. Coach Barry says, any word on Dayon Hayes' injury status for Arizona? No word on Dayon. We have not talked to the defensive side of the ball.
It's a weird one.
I don't even know what he's hurt with.
We basically never know what anyone's hurt with. But it just kind of happened quietly. He just wasn't there for UCF and hasn't been back since. And we haven't heard a lot about it.
Yep. Don Peasy, where do I go to sign up and tailgate with y'all boys here in Arizona? Will be good to finally meet the DNVR Buff fam. It's on the events page. The DNVR.
I think it's called Bourbon and Bent. I think I'm right.
Is that the place?
That's where we're going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go to the DNVR.com/events, and you can check it all out right there. All the tailgates.
Bourbon Bent. I think. Yeah. University Boulevard, Tucson, Arizona. That's where we're hanging out.
There you go. It's free. You just got to RSVP on the website. And then Cincinnati stuff is up too. We're offering parking, game tickets, a whole package. So everyone's saying that's a song quote in the chat. So there you go. There's the events QR code. If you want to scan it right now on the screen, you can go to either tailgate for the next 2 weeks right there.
Yeah, and if you are coming to the tailgate in Tucson, we would love for you to hit the RSVP, even though it's free, just so we know how many people to expect.
Yes.
And get there earlier if you want to see the bus. Starts at 9.
Last minute super chat from Coach Barry. In my opinion, Kansas State's defensive backs were trying to end Travis's career with dirty hits, and I think Coach Prime pulled him. And Jimmy, because it was too risky, which I think it will be proven that the Arizona game if they ball out. Travis is... I don't think he got hurt because of that, but obviously against CSU. And when he got hurt in high school, people were trying to hurt him.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Anything else? All right. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. We're low today.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Where are we at on subs? 94?
Dang, we're so close. Let me look really quick.
So, about 6,000 more subs. Hit that subscribe
We're at
button.
94 flat. So 6,000 subscribers away from getting a sweet plaque displayed somewhere in this lovely studio.
Yes, we're hitting the road tomorrow. Are we going live at 3?
We'll let everyone know. I was actually going to talk to you guys about that right after this.
Oh, okay. So stay tuned to Twitter. We'll let you know when tomorrow's show is live, but we'll see you on the road.
Hell yeah.
Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.